Number 3, we start first with the endpoint. What's the goal? What's the preferred outcome? We can ask, what would you like to see happen? Or describe what the perfect solution would look like. And number 4, we clarify. What's the situation right now? What's happening now? What's the situation? Where are you starting from? And that helps us identify the gap. Now, sometimes it makes sense to explore the gap more closely. How big is the gap? Melanie, remember in one of the conversations we're having 1 or 2 sessions ago, my client, he was already at $190,000 for the year, and he wanted to get his income to $300,000. So the gap was about $110,000. Now, when we think about the gap of $110,000 over a 12-month period, it's only about, we'll just call it $10,000 a month. It's not a big gap. He's already 2/3 the way to the goal. But if it was 13th of February and he was starting from 0 and he wanted to get to 300, the gap is really big. So we want to figure out, how big is the gap? If 1 represents low and 10 is the goal, where are they now? We've got to figure that out, because that will determine how much coaching they're going to need. So when I'm doing coaching, what I believe from my 27 years of being a coach, I started when I was 16, is that when we're working with people's minds, I start to see the biggest improvements come through at the 6-month mark. Now, some people can get an early win. Some people can have a little bit of beginner's luck, and it does happen from time to time. Has that happened to you? Beginner's luck. Yeah, beautiful. But we can't count on that. So I always say to my clients, 6 months from now, you're going to start to see the improvements take place. So one of my clients last week, he wrote me an email and he said, I'm starting to see the improvements in our leader. He said, I can start to see the light at the end of the tunnel. He said, I can start to see the return on investment coming through. He said, we've got to keep doing this. He said, we've got to keep going. And what I said to them was, for the first 6 months, we've just got to lay down the foundations. And I would say for the first 3 months, my coach, he just had to get everything off his chest that he'd been holding on his chest for years. And once he got that off his chest, then we could get down. And after 6 months, he's starting to build that confidence. He's starting to build some of that respect in his team. He's starting to communicate. So normally after about 6 months, it's not a lot of time if you think about it. If I work with a leader for an hour a week for 6 months, how many hours is that? 4, 6, 4, 20. It's only 24 hours. It's not a lot of time. It's only half a week. It's just an hour a week. And once you hit that 6-month mark, you start to see a compounding effect. It really starts to come through really quick.